Bitcoin weekend update. We're going to look at what to watch for this weekend. The weekly close just ahead, a couple days from now. So we're going to start off on the daily chart, then we'll get to the weekly chart, keep it short and sweet, and then we'll do quarter of the day and car of the day for those interested in that. So let's get right to it. We have three key levels in the yellow lines, right? That's obvious. Now, put it on closing price, it becomes a little bit more, right? You can definitely see why we've marked that, right? We have our low support lines, our previous swing lows at 25.2-ish, and then we have 26.2-ish. If this one breaks, we're likely going to this one, right? And then we better hope this one holds. Otherwise, we're in big trouble. But let's, between now and Monday, I highly doubt we get to this one. We may not get to either, to the upside either. 28K is where we're looking to break out to continue our uptrend that we've been in since our low on September 11th. Our low, our trough here, right? Here's our start of our trough, and then our peak. Peaks and troughs is what this is called, not technically highs and lows, right? So here's our new high, or our peak, our new low, right? And this is by definition an uptrend, right? We haven't reversed this. We would potentially reverse this uptrend if we can break 26.2 with a daily close. So if you see this closing price down here, then that trend is done, and now we're starting a new downtrend very likely. What are the odds? Well, we all like to weigh bulls and bears, right? Keep it as unbiased as possible. So let's weigh the evidence. Well, the moving averages are sideways. So that's really where you want to put the majority of your coins, your stack, your whatever, if you will, right? The odds are sideways because your moving averages are sideways, right? In a trend, in uptrend or downtrend, all the moving averages will be moving that direction, and that's the direction you should favor. Okay, so if that makes sense, right? And then if we had to lean one way or the other, which way do we lean? Well, we are in an uptrend, but by definition, we're leaning a little bit more bearish because we're underneath all moving averages, right? So we're starting to show signs of weakening based on that, right? Strong trends maintain above moving averages. I mean, just let's pick it back on closing prices, right? Look at our trend, right? We're above all the moving averages here. At our peaks, you're very likely above all moving averages if you're in an uptrend, right? But pretty much obvious as obvious can get, right? So that's what we're looking at. We're at resistance, right? This big pink line is the 200-day moving average, right? That's 27K. That will likely be resistance until we close back above it with multiple candles. Unlikely we're going to do that between now and Sunday, although anything's possible. Look at the Bollinger Bands. Look how wide apart we are, 28.3 all the way down to the low of 26K, right? Any kind of move can happen when your Bollinger Bands are that wide. That's the definition of Bollinger Bands wide. Volatility, right? If they're really pinched together, that's low volatility. Price is not likely going to do anything, right? Okay, so that is the daily chart. Now let's zoom out to the weekly and see if we have anything else we can look for going into the weekly close. Now, do we see that these lows are still significant? Not really. This one especially, right? You can maybe argue these wicks, or maybe argue with this zone. And I like a zone better than a definitive line usually. So let's paint our zone. I would really like to see us hold above like mid 25s, right? This is the 200 week at the pink, right? We could absolutely wick under here as we did back here, but showing a strong bull formation right here, right? The bulls held the line. Now we're moving away from that. To be not a fake out move and just a kind of a relief rally, so to speak, we don't want to go back and test that. That would be a sign of weakness or a sign of a potential fake out, and we still could be in this kind of downtrend for the rest of the year, right? We could absolutely just kind of range bound in here. You can see that, right? You can see a case to be made. Someone can argue that point for sure. So having said that, where do the bulls want to close? Well, ideally, it's going to be above your 21-week EMA in the yellow there, right? So that's around 27.3. You see this yellow line, right? This is where we bounced last time, right? Right here, right? We held the line. Yeah, wicks, who cares, right? The closing prices, put it on closing prices, and we're holding the 21-week EMA. Now, we get a little bit shaky, right, when you start to close under it, right? With this guy right here, right? This was our kind of our warning shot, and we could have easily kind of collapsed during any one of these weeks because of this guy, right? That was a strong bear move, but the bulls held the line here. So now we need to definitively keep that away, right? We don't want to be, the more times you test the level, the more likely that is to break. So keep that in mind. So ideally 27.3 is where we want to close on Sunday weekly close, or higher, right? We could go higher. But if we go higher, where's our resistance? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's right up here, right? It's pretty obvious. 29K, 30K, right? If we can get up there and start to close a weekly candle higher than that between now and Sunday, hell, more power to you. And Bitcoin is ready to go on a likely tear further upside if we get up to there. But, that's probably not the odds. The odds are we're last week we closed at an indecision candle by definition, right? Long-legged doji, right? Small candle body, higher wick, low wick, right? And then you want to wait to see the next week. And this week, bull or bear? Bear, right? So that's why we're leaning that way a little bit. And we're below the 21 week. Anytime you're below the 21 week EMA, you need to be a little bit more bearish than bullish just by definition, not based on what I say or you say or she says or he says. Just by TA alone, if you're under the 21 week, it's like cautious time, right? Under the 200 week, you're absolutely bearish. Above the 200 week, you can still be relatively bullish, and we are that because we are holding, our macro level uptrend, right? We're in an uptrend, and we're just kind of cooling down. And hopefully, in the next couple of months, we do another phase to the upside, right? That's kind of what we're looking at. For those of you in the boat of a 2025 peak, or thereabouts, right? Or shorter, or longer, then the odds are up, right? We've held this line multiple times. If we break this now, I think we're going to spend probably 3 to 6 months under this line. So those of you that want lower prices, be careful what you wish for. I think this would be very bad, like crossing the stream's bad. Based on, look at this. If we go under this level, we're going to be down for a while. Based off the charts, right? Based off the charts, that's going to be bad. I would say probably exit everything there, and we get a much better chance to buy somewhere down here. So those of you that think we're just going to wick down quickly to 20K, 18K, and then just recover and have a good January. Very, very remote there. Okay, you have a better chance of winning the lottery, I would think. So if we just be careful, if we get under 25K, 24K, right, that's a sign that we're bearish for a long time. 6 months plus. I would really go towards 6 months plus, but I don't think that's the odds. I think we're maybe range bound a little bit between 25 to 30K for the next couple of months. And then, a breakout like we showed to the next phase of the bull in the not so distant future, right? The move up, the sideways, and then, the move up sometime between now and, Q1 2024. Just my 2 cents. We talk about that in our Patreon group a lot, our Telegram group. So join that if you haven't already. What else do we got? Let's get to quote of the day. If you have any questions, actually, let's look at the Gaussian channel real quick. Gaussian channel on the weekly, still looking A-okay. We're bullish here, right? Historically, once we've closed back above the median line here on the Gaussian channel on the weekly, we've never closed back below it, right? Maybe a one anomaly back during the pandemic, but it was very brief, right? But other than that, right? So that line right now, and it's rising, by the way. It's almost at 25K. So this is also leads to the proof that or the facts stacking up against a quick recovery. If you're doing something first time in Bitcoin's history, not likely going to be good. Black swan events, sure, war, of course, anything can happen, but barring that, I don't expect a revisit anything on a weekly close basis. We could wick maybe lower, right? We've wicked down below it a couple times, even the first week back here, right? But closing prices, right? If you put on weekly closing prices, very unlikely to close back below 24.9. So just based on history, not what I'm saying, based on historical charts, right? That's it. All right. So sum that up. 5-day Gaussian channel. I know a lot of you like that. So let's look at that. It looks even better, right? holding in the channel, the bullish part of the channel. As long as you're in the upper tier, see these two are divided by in halves, right? That's the median line. As long as you're in the upper part, you're still bullish. If you put on the candles, that's why these candles glow green here and are just really red here. Until you get back above this median line, it's bearish, right? And then when you get up here, it's starting to get bullish. By definition, that's the whole thing of the Gaussian channel. So that's where we're at, weekly and daily. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Let's get to quarter of the day. Greatness is a road leading towards the unknown. Couldn't agree more. Good quote. Car of the day. Any guesses? If you said BMW, obviously. Hopefully you got that one right. M6. M6 convertible. So I got a couple options. So we got the black wheels. I love the brakes, right? The powder coated blue brakes like that. So we got the black wheels, black interior. Then we got blue with the silver wheels, the kind of the tan interior, light tan. That's another option. Then we have option 3, which I think is probably my option for at least this car. I usually like white a lot, but black with black and then white interior. Pretty rare spec. I've not seen that too much on cars. Usually most people that get like the black on black keep black inside, but I kind of like the white inside, black wheels, nice blue brakes, still signature BMW. BMW M6. I like these. These are one of my favorite BMWs. If I ever get a BMW, it would be an M. I'm not getting a regular one. Can't do it. I have to have the speed. Speed. So I got my car. Lots of speed. 756 horsepower in my car. And I love smoking all these muscle cars that think they're fast. Side note, which car do you pick? The black, blue, white? For the two of you that are still watching, maybe you just don't even care. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Have a great weekend. We'll see you right back here next week. This shirt is really red.